I'll be ready whenever you want since they took the field. So, welcome back to Drisdale Field in St. Augustine, Florida, for our second of 4 games today at the Peach Belt Conference Baseball Tournament. Today's second game will feature the number 5 seed North Georgia Nighthawks and the number 4 seed UNC Pembroke Braves. Go over the starting lineups for North Georgia. Cruz Taylor will lead off. He's in left field. Chase Sudduth, the second baseman, bats second. Andres Perez, the catcher, is third. Connor Corbett, the right fielder, hits fourth. Bill Leroy, the designated hitter, hits fifth. Stephen Tomlinson, the center fielder, will hit sixth. Nick Clarno, the third baseman, will hit seventh. Jake Arnold, the first baseman, bats eighth. And William Mapes, the shortstop, bats ninth. They will face right-hander Anthony Burke for UNC Pembroke. Burke, a senior right-hander, 8-2 on the season with a 2.91 earned run average, making his 14th start of the year. In his 96 innings of work, he struck out 79. Opponents hitting 268 off of Burke. Defensively for UNC Pembroke, Luke Jackson will be in left field. Roberto Rivera will be in center field. Ethan Balcom will be in right. Trey Jacobs at third, Jarrett Mobley at shortstop, Seth Harding's the second baseman, Connor Granger is at first, and it's Trevor Clemens behind the plate for Anthony Burke. North Georgia will send Cade Heil, a freshman, to the mound this afternoon. So, ready to go after a brief break. Georgia College tops Lander 9-6 in our first game. Right. Trey Jacobs at third, Jarrett Mobley at shortstop, Seth Harding's the second baseman. Cruz Taylor will step in the batter's box and just about ready to get started. I mentioned it's the 4 and the 5 seed here in our second game. The winner of this game will be 1-0 in Pool A and will join Georgia College at that spot. The winner of Pool A will meet the winner of Pool B on Sunday in the championship game. Tiebreakers and the like will be discussed more in depth tomorrow if they become applicable. Taylor's about ready as our pregame announcements have been completed. Cruz, a freshman, and he 189 on the season, making his 21st start of the year. Homer and 9 runs driven in. Anthony Burke's first pitch is off the outside corner, ball 1. Michael Rash calls balls and strikes. Brett Cardwell, umpire at first base. Mark Morgan, umpiring at third. A 1-0 pitch right down the middle for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. North Georgia 30-20 overall in the season. As just missing the outside corner is Burke. 2 balls and a strike. This is low. 3 balls and 1 strike on the North Georgia leadoff hitter, Cruz Taylor. Nighthawks 17-13 in Peach Belt Conference play. Check swing, but he went around. This is home plate umpire Michael Rash. Count runs full, 3-2 on Taylor leading off this top half of the first. Low outside, ball 4. Taylor's aboard with the leadoff walk. That'll bring up Chase Sudduth. Sudduth hitting .268 on the season, 3 homers, 25 runs driven in. Taylor aboard at first. He's stolen 2 bags this season, been caught twice. Burke from his set, misses inside. 1-0. Sudeth, a walk-off single in the 11th inning of the rubber game of the 3-game regular season series up in Dahlonega between these two teams. North Georgia won that series, taking the final 2 games. And that pitch is lifted out of play. Ball and a strike. Head coach Tom Cantrell in his 19th season at the helm of this North Georgia program. He took the Nighthawks to the World Series last season. Check on Taylor. The 1-1. Bounce to third. Jacobs to second for 1. Harding's relay to first in time. Double play. Nicely turned by the Pembroke defense. There's 2 down for Andres Perez. Perez, .330 on the season. Started all 50 games for the Nighthawks. Homered 20 times with 60 runs driven in. Those 20 home runs lead the Peach Belt Conference. And he takes a first pitch over for a strike. Swing and a miss, 0-2 on Perez. Defense shaded to pull against Perez in the infield with Seth Hardings right behind the second base bag. Burke's 0-2. Bounce to the left side. Fielding is at Jacobs to his left. Throws on to first in time to retire the side. A walk. Double play erases the base runner. And we have played a half inning. North Georgia nothing. UNC Pembroke coming to bat here from the Peach Belt Conference Tournament in St. Augustine. home half of the first inning, and Roberto Rivera will lead off for UNC Pembroke. Rivera 383 on the season, 24 runs driven in. Seniors takes a first pitch low, ball one. Cade Heel, the starter today for North Georgia. The freshman making his 15th start, a 6-7 record with a 4.24 earned run average. Misses low outside. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-1 as Heel his fastball over. Roberto Rivera, Trevor Clemens, Ethan Baucom, the first 3 to bat here in this first inning for Pembroke, as that pitch is fouled at the plate. Two balls and 2 strikes the count on Rivera. That's line foul out of play to the right. UNC Pembroke in play today at 36-12 on the season. Their 17-12 record, good for 4th place during the regular season in the Peach Belt Conference, as Rivera takes outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Heel's payoff pitch, lifted into shallow center field. Tomlinson drifting over to right center. This ball's hit better than I thought. Put it away for the first out. And that'll bring up the catcher, Trevor Clemens. Clemens, 359. 2 homers, 29 runs driven in. As he fouls the first pitch at the plate. And that 0-1 off-speed pitch is fouled off. Mentioned that Pembroke lost that series to North Georgia during the course of the season. Won the opener behind Anthony Burke 1-0 before dropping the final 2. So that pitch, this is outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cade Heel was the hard luck loser in that first game of the series for North Georgia, as that pitch is served in the shallow center field, leaping and not able to make the play as William Mapes. It's going to be a 1-out single for Trevor Clemens, and he'll be aboard for Ethan Baucom. Baucom is hitting .309 on the season. 8 home runs, 52 runs driven in. A very, very young lineup. Just 1 senior starter for Pembroke. Heel checks on Clemens. Clemens has stolen 15 bases this season. The running game is certainly a part of this Braves offense. 4 starters with 15 or more stolen bases. Swing and a miss at off-speed pitch. 0-1 on Baucom. Head coach Paul O'Neill in his 18th season at the helm of UNC Pembroke. Braves currently ranked 5th in that Southeast region poll issued by the NCAA. Certainly in play for a back-to-back regional appearance, as that throw back from first gets away from pitcher Cade Heel, allowing Trevor Clemens to head to second. So a pickoff throw from Heel to first baseman Jake Arnold was made, and Arnold's return throw to the pitcher was off target. Going to be an error charged to Arnold. Runner at second now as that ball's hit into right field. Connor Corbett puts it away. Retreating to second base is Clemens, 2 away. That'll bring up Trey Jacobs. Jacobs hitting .417 on the season. 9 home runs, 66 runs driven in. Leads this UNC Pembroke squad in hits with 85 on the year. UNC Pembroke, second in the Peach Belt Conference in batting average at .342. Very offensively minded club. That pitch is outside, ball 1 to Jacobs. Clemens takes his lead from second, 2 away here in the first. And that's lined off the glove of shortstop William Wapes into shallow right center. Clemens rounds third. He'll score the game's first run. It's an RBI single for Trey Jacobs. And the Braves are on the board here in the home half of the first. Mapes was positioned up the middle, which allowed him to have a chance at that ball despite it being hit to the right of second base, but the full extension dive just off the outstretched glove, allowing Clemens to score the first run. Here's Luke Jackson, who takes a first pitch strike. Jackson, the left fielder, hitting .417 on the season. It's tied for the team lead. 12 home runs, 67 runs driven in. Jackson also tied for second in the Peach Belt Conference in hitting, entering tournament play. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes the count on Jackson. In addition to Jackson's .417 average at the top, just off the pace of the Peach Belt Conference, right behind Nate Schmall. He's also first in RBIs. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Down goes Jackson on strikes, and the inning is over. But an RBI single off the bat of Trey Jacobs plates the game's first run. And after 1 inning here in St. Augustine, it's UNC Pembroke 1, North Georgia 0. This is the Peach Belt Conference Baseball Tournament on the Peach Belt Digital Network. Connor Corbett, Bill Leroy, Stephen Tomlinson, the 3 to hit here in the second for North Georgia. Pembroke with an unearned run in the first to take an early 1-0 lead. Corbett hitting .286 on the season, 13 home runs, 43 runs driven in. junior, has started every game for the Nighthawks this year. First pitch from Anthony Burke is over for a strike. Count even 1-1. Two and one the count now on Corbett. We mentioned Pembroke with just one senior starter. North Georgia also starting just one senior position player. Corbett, a junior. The 2-1 is lifted in the air to pretty deep center field. Rivera going back. He's got it measured and makes the catch a couple steps shy of the warning track. So Corbett gives it a ride, but long first out. And that'll bring up Bill Leroy. Leroy, the designated hitter. Hitting .329 on the season. 2 home runs, 18 runs driven in. Anthony Burke's 1-0 pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Swing and a miss at a good breaking ball. Burke, a first-team All-Peach Belt Conference selection. One-two pitch, hit in the air to center field. Rivera into left center. Calls off Luke Jackson, the left fielder, to make the catch. A couple of fly ball outs. Retire the first 2 batters here in the second. That'll bring up Stephen Tomlinson. Tomlinson, 240 on the year. 4 home runs, 20 runs driven in. And that ball's bounced through the middle into center field. First hit of the day for the Nighthawks comes with 2 outs here in the second off the bat of Stephen Tomlinson. And that'll bring up Nick Clarno, the third baseman. Clarno, 231, 7 homers, 26 runs driven in his freshman campaign. Mentioned Pembroke, a very offensively minded team. You could say the opposite for North Georgia, just .266 team batting average. It's in the lower third of the Peach Belt Conference, but a very solid pitching and defensive club. Not a lot of team speed for North Georgia. In fact, the leading stolen base starter just has 5. That's Connor Corbett. Pitch is over for a strike. 0-1 on Clarno. Tomlinson leads from first. He runs. Swing and a miss. Throw to second. On target. And he is out. Caught stealing Trevor Clemens with a fantastic throw right to the bag. He catches Tomlinson trying to steal with 2 outs here in the second. That'll retire the side. Middle of the second, 1-0 Pembroke here from St. Augustine at the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. Bottom half of the second, Seth Hardings will lead off for Pembroke. Hardings, 379 on the season, 7 home runs, 45 runs driven in. Cade Heel delivers a first pitch strike. One and one the count. Mentioned Pembroke currently ranked number 5 in the NCAA Southeast Region poll. They're 17th in the nation in the poll released earlier this week by College Baseball Newspaper. Good fastball in the outside corner. Heel gets ahead of Hardings, 1-2. The Braids have won 8 straight games coming into play here this weekend. They're 27-2 this season at home, just 9-10 on the road. But certainly a team in position to reach the NCAA Regional next season. Excuse me, for the second straight season. They can have a good weekend here. Pitch is low outside. Count now full. 3-2 on Hardings leading off this second inning. Heels pay off. Fouled away. Both these schools have won this tournament one time apiece. North Georgia 2008 champions. UNC Pembroke 2011 tournament champions. As that's lined into center field for a base hit. Seth Hardings aboard leading off this second inning. And that'll bring up first baseman Connor Granger. Granger's had a very solid freshman year, hitting .331, 8 home runs, 50 runs driven in. Hardings will take his lead from first. He has a threat to run with 15 stolen bases on the season. Been caught just twice. Breaking ball over for a strike. You're at Drisdale Field in St. Augustine, Florida. Game 2 of 4 here at the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Another, actually just getting a piece of that and foul. Mean it off is Granger. He's behind in the count 0-2. Nice crowd on hand for the second straight game. Had a good one for the morning contest that began around 10 a.m. here. Georgia College the winner over Lander 9-6. Pool B action will get underway later tonight. Here's the 0-2. Softly hit towards the mound. He will have one play. It'll be to first. He makes it. Works effectively at a sacrifice. Granger retired for the first out. And that'll bring up Elijah Helton. Helton, the DH, hitting .290 on the season, a homer and 14 driven in. He'll bat here with a runner in scoring position and one away. Artificial turf infield. Natural grass in the outfield here at Drisdale Field. Good breaking ball from Heel as he works ahead 0-1. One ball and one strike to count on Helton. That's bounced foul. 1-2. Jarrett Mobley on deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. The pitch. Tap to the right side, fielded by Heel. Second consecutive softly hit ball. Heel fields. He'll throw on to first to retire Helton. Moving to third is Hardings, and with 2 away, Jarrett Mobley will step to the plate. Mobley, brave shortstop, 260 on the year, 2 home runs, 25 runs driven in. And that's bounced on the ground. First pitch swinging to second. Sudduth with it, on to first in time. Leadoff base runner, but Cade Heel able to work through it and record a scoreless second. 2 complete in St. Augustine, 1-0 UNC Pembroke. We move to inning number 3 in game 2 here in Flagler College, St. Augustine, Florida. This is the Peach Belt Conference Baseball Tournament for 2018, the 20th edition of this postseason event in the Peach Belt. 7, 8, 9, Nick Clarno, Jake Arnold, William Mapes for North Georgia. Anthony Burke, this is low, ball 1. Clarno, 231 on the season. He was up to bat when Stephen Tomlinson was caught stealing to end the second inning, and he takes a strike. The 1-1 pitch. Bounce to the left side. Mobley fields it. Throws on time to retire Clarno for out number 1. That'll bring up Jake Arnold. Arnold, one of 3 freshmen that round out the 7, 8, 9 spots of this batting order today for North Georgia. 244 on the season, 6 home runs, 25 runs driven in. Anthony Burke. Good off-speed pitch swung through by Arnold for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch misses low. 1-1 the count. Pitch is hit towards first, fielded by Granger, who dogs the bag in time to retire Arnold. Four ground ball outs here in the early going for Burke. William Mapes will step to the plate. Freshman shortstop hitting .236 on the season, starting his 51st game, every game this year for North Georgia. 4 home runs, 20 runs driven in. And the first pitch is popped out of play, foul. Both pitchers attacking the strike zone, and I think I touched on it earlier, but Cade Heel and Anthony Burke matched up in the first game of the series this year between these two teams and they both pitched fantastically. 1-0 the final in that game. Cade Heel, the tough love loser for North Georgia. Swung on and lifted to right. Balcom puts it away. Mapes retired on a fly out to right. And a very quick 1-2-3 top half of the third. 1-0 Pembroke on a beautiful day in St. Augustine. We briskly move to the bottom of the third inning. UNC Pembroke back to the top of the order with Roberto Rivera to lead off. Rivera flew out to center, leading off the bottom of the first for Pembroke. Takes a ball 1-0. UNC Pembroke 4-5 on the year against their Pool A opponents. As that ball's hit sharply through the right side. Nice play by Sudduth to get there and throw on to first to retire Rivera. Fine play by Chase Sudduth, ranging far to his left. He was positioned up the middle against Rivera, but able to close ground, field it, and throw on the run to retire the speedy leadoff batter, Roberto Rivera. So 1 away, and Trevor Clemens, who singled and scored in the first, steps in. He lines the first pitch up the middle into center field for a base hit. Clemens aboard for the second time. And that'll bring up Ethan Balcom. Balcom 0 for 1. He lined out to right his first time. Talked about how this UNC Pembroke team has won 8 consecutive games entering play. Their last loss was actually to North Georgia. It was the third game of their regular season series back on April 14th. Balcom swings through a breaking ball, 0-1. Pembroke then beat Wingate 11-0 on April 17th. That could turn out to be a big game in terms of positioning, as Wingate in consideration in the Southeast Regional for an NCAA berth as well. Good non-conference win there for the Braves. Count even 1 ball and 1 strike on Balcom. And then after a non-conference win over Coker, the Braves swept Flagler and Georgia Southwestern to finish 4th in the conference and strengthen their NCAA resume. Trevor Clemens aboard at first. He's singled with one out. Ethan Balcom at the plate. 1-1 from Heel. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Check of the runner at first. It was a play like that in the first inning that ended up costing North Georgia. Heel checking in on, ironically, Clemens, who he checked in on there, before throwing the ball to first baseman Jake Arnold. But Arnold's return throw to Heel got away, allowing Clemens to move up to second, eventually score on a Trey Jacobs RBI single. It's the only run of the game thus far. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Balcom. Second strikeout for Heel. And there's 2 down here in the third. Brings up Trey Jacobs. Drove in a run with his first inning single. Takes high outside, 1-0. Short lead at first by Clemens. The 1-0 pitch is low, 2-0. The wind today has kind of been inconsistent. Had some gusts, mostly out towards left and center field at times. That 2-0 is outside. Also seen it get still for periods of time today. 3 home runs hit in the first game of the day. As Jacobs swinging 3-0 and lefty one into deep right center field, and that ball is a no-doubt home run. Trey Jacobs takes a 3-0 fastball right down the middle and deposits it just to the right of the scoreboard beyond the right center field wall. And UNC Pembroke has extended their lead. It's now 3-0. Home run number 10 of the season for Trey Jacobs. He's driven in all 3 Braves runs, 69 runs driven in now on the season. And Pembroke has taken a 3-0 lead as Heel delivers a strike to Luke Jackson, who struck out his first time. Heel certainly did not anticipate a swing there, as he just threw a fastball right down the middle, and Jacobs made him pay. Oh, 1-1. Bounce on the ground, softly to the left side. Charging is Clarno. On the run, he throws on target to retire Jackson. And the side here in the third. But Trey Jacobs, a 2-run home run, has extended the UNC Pembroke lead. 3-0 Braves as we've played 3 here in St. Augustine at the Peach Belt Conference Baseball Tournament. Top half of the fourth inning, top of the batting order for North Georgia. Anthony Burke has faced the minimum through 3. Walked the batter in the first, but erased that one with a double play ball. And then in the second, a lot of 2-out single, but batter erased on a caught stealing. So 9 batters faced through 3. 0-1 the count here on Taylor, leading off the fourth. And he swings and misses at an off-speed delivery, 0-2. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. Burke freezes Taylor with a fastball. First strikeout for Burke, and there's one away here in the fourth. Going to bring up Chase Sudduth, grounded into a double play his first time. Talked about UNC Pembroke coming in pretty hot into tournament play, winners of 8 straight. North Georgia lost their final 2 conference series of the season, losing 2 of 3 to Columbus State. It was last weekend. They lost 2 of 3 to Lander in the series prior. As Sudduth takes a strike, evens the count at 1-1. Ball's lifted into right center field. Back into the gap is Rivera. It's going to get over both outfielders' heads and up against the wall. Rounding second and heading for third is Sudduth. The throw is going to be late. It's going to be a triple off the bat of Chase Sudduth, as he drives one into the right center field gap. One hops the wall between outfielders Roberto Rivera and Ethan Balcom. And North Georgia, with the runner at third base and less than 2 outs, their first runner in scoring position today. So Andres Perez comes to the plate. Grounded out his first time. Perez, the big bat in this North Georgia lineup. Talked about his conference leading 20 home runs. So he takes the first pitch low. He's a first team all Peach Belt Conference selection. Infield is back in the middle. That 1-0 is low outside. A corner snap throw to third, and nearly catching Sudduth napping was catcher Trevor Clemens. The corners are in. First baseman Connor Granger playing way off the line, almost in the second base hole position. So a bouncing ball hit to him. There's a play at home, but anything in the middle of the diamond will play to run for North Georgia. 2-0 the count on Perez. Burke's delivery is hit in the air to deep center field. Back goes Rivera. He's going to put it away on the warning track, but that's going to be more than deep enough to score Sudduth. It's a sacrifice fly for Andres Perez. His 61st run driven in, and North Georgia is on the board. Rivera didn't miss that by much. Take a look at the flag. It's resting calmly right now. A little while ago it was whipping. That ball may have carried out of here. That ball been hit no less than 5 to 10 minutes ago. Connor Corbett will bat with 2 outs. 0 for 1. He flew out his first time. He takes a ball. Corbett, a junior from Juliet, Georgia. And he lines that foul down the left field side. Well, this Pembroke team has struggled on the mound statistically, pitching to a 5.42 earned run average. They've allowed just the second fewest walks in the conference. We've We've seen that today as Anthony Burke has attacked the zone. That ball's lifted to left. Luke Jackson to his left a few steps to make the catch and retire the side, but a sacrifice fly by Andres Perez gets North Georgia on the board. Middle of the fourth, Pembroke 3, North Georgia 1 on the Peach Belt Conference Digital Network. Bottom half of inning number 4. 3-1 UNC Pembroke as Braves come to the plate. Seth Hardings, Connor Granger, Elijah Helton, the scheduled 3 hitters. Hardings singled his first time. It's 1 for 1. That's Cade Heel. Delivers the first pitch. It's fouled away. Single run in the first for Pembroke. 2 in the third. A 2-run homer for Trey Jacobs. Currently the difference is North Georgia got on the board in the top of the 4th. A sacrifice fly from Andres Perez. This is away, 1-1. Hardings, a sophomore from Sherrills Ford, North Carolina. Heel gets ahead 1-2. We are in Pool A at the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. Pitch misses downstairs. 2-2. Pool B action starts tonight. Flagler and Columbus State at 5 o'clock. Young Harris and USC Aiken will follow them around 8:30. As that pitch just misses. Cade Heel questioning plate umpire Michael Rash if that missed in. Might have had a complaint as that pitch looked like it might have caught the inside corner, but ruled inside. Count runs full here on Hardings leading off this third, and that pitch is bounced back on a hop. Nice play by Heel to field, and he'll underhand toss to first to retire Hardings for the first out. That'll bring up Connor Granger. Granger grounded out his first time. Both of these teams here will play 2 games tomorrow to complete pool play. First pitch taken inside by Granger, 1-0. North Georgia will face Lander at 10 o'clock tomorrow at St. John's River State College in Palatka, Florida. UNC Pembroke will face Lander at 1:30. All of these Pool A games tomorrow will be in Palatka. 2-0 pitch outside, 3-0. North Georgia will then face top seed Georgia College at 5 o'clock before UNC Pembroke takes on Georgia College at 8:30. 3-0s on the outside corner for a strike, 3-1. Georgia College at 1-0 right now in Pool A. Lander is at 0-1. Pitch misses low outside. Granger's aboard with a 1-out walk. First walk issued by Heel. And that'll bring out Elijah Helton. Helton bounced back to the pitcher his first time. Helton, a junior from Knoxville, Tennessee, via Walter State Community College. Granger takes his lead at first, and Heel misses outside. He wants to recycle the baseball as he's had some difficulty finding the zone, and he's going to receive a visit as well. Meeting on the mound as Heel's lost a little bit of his command here in the fourth. There is action in the North Georgia bullpen. Heel just passing the 50 pitch mark here in the fourth inning. North Georgia at 30-20 probably needs to win this event to advance to the NCAA Regional. Mentioned earlier, they were in the World Series a year ago, defeating Catawba in the regional final. Advance to the World Series for their first time in 2017. Elijah Helton steps in as Heel tries to right the ship. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. 1-1. Not much speed for Granger at first, at least not from a base stealing perspective. Just 2 stolen bases on the season. Takes a short lead, a throw over by Heel to check on him. Umbrellas out in full force in the grandstand area here at Drysdale Field. I should say sun-splashed Drysdale Field. As temperatures make their way into the upper 80s. Hoping for good weather all weekend. Allow us to play these 13 games on schedule. 1-2, line in the left field. That's going to fall for a hit. Granger around second. He's going to put on the brakes as Taylor gets that ball in quickly. Helton singles to left. 2 are on now, and Jarrett Mobley will bat for the second time. Mobley grounded out to second his first time. Mobley, a sophomore from Tarboro, North Carolina. North Georgia defense at double play depth. And Mobley chases a fastball that ran down and in. 0-1. He clinches his hand a bit as he awkwardly tried to stop that swing. Outfield shifted a bit to the opposite field against the Pembroke shortstop. And he swings and bounces it foul wide of third. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Braves with a 3-1 lead in the fourth. One and 2 the count. That's line down the left field line. That's going to head towards the corner and bounce off the wall. Granger scores. Helton's being waved. Here's Mapes' relay right on target, and he guns down Elijah Helton trying to score from first. Perfectly executed relay. Cruz Taylor to William Mapes, who threw a bullet to catcher Andres Perez, who applies the tag and is able to retire Helton at the plate. But Mobley has driven in a run. He's at second base with his RBI double. And the lead is now 4-1 for UNC Pembroke, and that's going to be the final pitch that Cade Heel threw. Looks like we're going to see a left-hander out of that North Georgia bullpen. We'll tell you about him when we return. 4-1 UNC Pembroke here in the bottom half of the fourth from St. Augustine. Senior left-hander Jack Fleming will be on for North Georgia. Fleming making his 27th appearance of the year, 6-0 record, 2.82 earned run average. He has a save as well in the year, 44 2/3 innings. He's allowed just 32 hits while striking out 56 batters. Fleming will inherit a base runner at second and Jarrett Mobley with 2 outs here in the fourth. Top of the batting order for the Braves, and Roberto Rivera will bat. Rivera 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out and grounded out. – 4-1 UNC Pembroke. Home half of the fourth inning. Fleming's first pitch is low, 1-0. Cade Heel, first 3 2/3 innings. He allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned as a base runner to his responsibility right now at second base. Pitch misses outside, 2-0. That 2-0 is low outside, 3 balls and no strikes. So Fleming having difficulty finding the strike zone here. His first 3 pitches have missed. Saw Trey Jacobs homer earlier in this game for the Braves on a 3-0 pitch. See if Rivera's turned loose. He takes outside, ball 4. So Rivera is aboard. Trevor Clemens, who's singled and scored twice, is the batter. with 2 on here in the 4th. Three infielders to the right of second base against Clemens. And takes outside. Ball 1. There's continual action in the North Georgia bullpen. The 1-0 pitch is lined over the shortstop position in the left field. Trying to score is Mobley. The throw in from Taylor is late, but cut off nicely by third baseman Nick Clarno. Throws to second in time to catch Clemens trying to take second base. But another run comes across, and it's 5-1 UNC Pembroke through 4 here in St. Augustine. Move to top half of the 5th inning. 5-1 UNC Pembroke. Braves push 2 more across there in that 4th inning, knocking starter Cade Heel out for North Georgia. Anthony Burke will continue on into the 5th. 43 pitches through his first 4 innings. As he'll face Bill Leroy, Stephen Tomlinson, and Nick Clarno here in the 5th. Leroy flew out to center his first time. Burke gets ahead, 0-1. Leroy pops one up to the right side. Over is Seth Hardings into foul ground to make a fine play. Hardings had a better angle than Connor Granger. And Hardings able to run it down. 1 down. That'll bring up Stephen Tomlinson, who singled in the 2nd. He was erased, caught stealing to end that 2nd inning. Batting here with 1 down in the 5th. First pitch swinging and grounding 1 foul. Flagler and Columbus State will follow us at 5 o'clock. USC Aiken and Young Harris, the last game tonight at 8:30. One and one on Tomlinson. And that ball is grounded to third, just foul. 1-2 the count. Anthony Burke working with a 5-1 lead. That's bounced to the right side, fielded by Harding. He's going to try to find the pitcher covering, and he does. Anthony Burke had to get over there and cover because Connor Granger, who was positioned well off the line, took a couple of steps to try to field that ball. And when he did, he had no chance to recover, but Anthony Burke quickly over to take the throw from Hardings and retire Tomlinson by a step. Here's Nick Clarno, who grounded out back in the third. He's 0 for 1. One and 0 the count. And that 1-0 is lifted foul and out of play. Clarno, a freshman from Grayson, Georgia. Just outside, 2-1. Called strike 2, delayed call by Michael Rash, but nonetheless 2-2 the count. And popped up, shallow right field. Harding's out, Balcom in. Balcom calls, makes the catch. Side retired. 1-2-3, fifth. We are halfway home. 5-1 UNC Pembroke here at St. Augustine and the 2018 Peach Belt Conference Tournament. Bottom half of the fifth, 5-1 UNC Pembroke as they come to bat. 3-4-5, Ethan Balcom, Trey Jacobs, Luke Jackson. The three that will bat against Jack Fleming, who came on in the fourth in relief of Cade Heel, who started for North Georgia. Fleming gets ahead. With the inherited runner scoring, Heel's final line, 3 2/3, 4 hits, 3 2/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 were earned. Walked 1 and struck out 2 as that's lined towards the gap in left center. Cut off by Taylor, but trying for 2 is Balcom. The throw is not in time. Be a leadoff double for Ethan Balcom. UNC Pembroke in business again here in the fifth. Jacobs has driven in 3 runs today, singled in 1 in the first and hit a home run in the third, a 2-run shot. And first pitch swinging and lifting one into left center. But Cruz Taylor able to make the play. For out number one, ball comes still at second. I'll bring up Luke Jackson, who's 0 for 2. Struck out. Struck out and grounded out. Wind starting to pick up a bit here. Beautiful day. A few clouds in the sky. Currently 87 degrees. The Peach Belt Conference Tournament being played in Sunshine State for the first time. It looks like we're going to have another pitching change as Tom Cantrell heads back to the mound. He's not made a signal yet, but does have action in the bullpen. And that is going to be it for Jack Fleming. We'll take a quick timeout and be back in just a moment to tell you about the new North Georgia pitcher, 5-1 UNC Pembroke, bottom half of inning number 5. Sophomore right-hander Kyle Lueeks is on in relief for North Georgia. Lueeks pitching to Luke Jackson. Takes the first pitch strike, 0-1. 4.11 ERA in 65 2/3 innings for Lueeks. A 3-3 record, making his 22nd appearance. Worked with a runner at second and 1 down. Gets ahead with a couple of off-speed pitches, 0-2. Jackson 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out. Just upstairs. Jackson coming into play today, second in the Peach Belt Conference in hitting at a .417 clip. First team all Peach Belt Conference selection. Takes high 2-2. Jackson also tied for the team lead in runs scored and leads this powerful Pembroke offense with 12 home runs and 67 runs driven in. Trey Jacobs has now surpassed him. This 3 RBIs today for the team lead. 2-2, swung on, he couldn't hold his swing in time. He goes around. Jackson down on strikes for the second time. Kyle Luigs retires his first batter. Seth Hardings will bat with 2 out. He's 1 for 2, singled back in the second. Hardings has started every game this year for Pembroke. One and 0 the count. Hardings, another first team all Peach Belt Conference selection. The 1-0. Hit on the ground is short. Mapes makes the play. Throws on target as Jake Arnold stretches to record the third and final out. 5 complete from St. Augustine. 5-1. UNC Pembroke. This is the Peach Belt Conference Digital Network. Move to the 6th as UNC Pembroke leads North Georgia 5-1. Jake Arnold, William Mapes, Cruz Taylor 8-9-1 in the Nighthawks batting order against Anthony Burke, who's been on his game today. Attacking the strike zone with all of his pitches. He leads at 5-1. Does the Pembroke starter. Oh, 1 to Arnold, swung on and missed. 5th inning recap through 5 here. 1 single run in the 4th for North Georgia. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error. For UNC Pembroke, a single run in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. That ball's fouled away. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors through 5 for UNC Pembroke. 0-2 the count on Jake Arnold. And that's lifted to the right side. Easy play for Seth Hardings in short right field for the first out. Six consecutive batters set down by Anthony Burke and brings up William Mapes. He lined out to right his first time. Mapes, a freshman from Alpharetta, Georgia. Takes the first pitch. Strike, 0-1. UNC Pembroke, 5th in the Southeast Region poll. Talked a little bit about this during our first game today. The 0-1 is lined into right field, a base hit. Mapes is aboard with a 1-out single, 4th hit of the day for the Nighthawks. And back to the top of the batting order and Cruz Taylor. Burke checks on Mapes and almost caught him sleeping over there as made the quick throw. Mapes just able to get back in safely. Another quick throw over to check on the North Georgia shortstop. Taylor takes low, 1-0. In this NCAA Southeast region, North Greenville currently ranked 1st. The champions of the Conference Carolinas tournament, their season complete. They're in the driver's seat to potentially host the regional. Pitch is over for a strike, 1-1. Georgia College, who we saw earlier today, pick up their 40th win of the year. They're 2nd in this week's poll. Belmont Abbey is 3rd. For Columbus State at 4 and this UNC Pembroke team at 5. Swing, a foul tip into the mitt of Clemens for the 2nd strike. So this Brave squad certainly intends to play beyond this weekend, and they're in good position to do so. Reached regional play a year ago. The 1-2, hit on the ground towards the middle. It'll get through for a hit. Pulling in at second is Mapes. North Georgia has a pair of base runners for the first time today. And Chase Suddeth, who tripled and scored back in the 4th, will come to the plate. Clemens and Burke will talk about it at the mound. Make sure they're on agreement of the signs to be used, as for the first time today, the runner will have breached second base against Burke. Suddeth did triple and score in the 4th, but first time a base runner will take a lead off second base against the UNC Pembroke battery of Anthony Burke and Trevor Clemens today. Mapes at second, Taylor at first with 1 out. Chase Suddeth, the hitter. 1-0. UNC Pembroke, 17th in the nation, in addition to their Southeast Region poll position. The 1-0 pitch, lifted foul. One and one the count on Chase Suddeth. 2 on here in the 6th. Line foul out of play down the right field side. Burke's 1-2. Lined up the middle, base hit. Mapes turns third. He's going to score. Rivera will throw into second. It's an RBI single for Chase Suddeth. And North Georgia has cut into the lead. It's now 5-2. Three consecutive singles have scored a run and brought the tying run to the plate for North Georgia. In the person of Andres Perez, the conference's home run leader. So one swing of the bat could even this game up. Perez grounded out and hit a long sacrifice fly to the warning track in center field, his last at-bat. Swing and a miss, a big cut through that fastball. Big hole on the right side as defense shifted in the infield for Perez to pull. The 0-1, swing and a miss. Burke gets ahead 0-2 on Perez. The 0-2, way upstairs, 1-2. Perez, a sophomore from Duluth, Georgia. He's put up these offensive numbers while also playing behind the plate and leading a solid pitching staff for the Nighthawks. The 1-2, high, 2-2. Burke kicks the dirt in disgust as he left that breaking ball high. Big moment in this game here in the 6th for North Georgia if they're going to get back in it. They have 2 on, 1 out, and Andres Perez at the plate. 2-2 is fouled back off the screen. Teams for our third game of the day have arrived here at Drisdale Field. Host Flagler, the 6th seed, will take on Columbus State, the number 3 seed. Game scheduled to start around 5 o'clock or maybe a few minutes after if this game goes long. 2-2 the count on Perez. And he lifts it to right, down the line. Long run for Ethan Balcom. It's going to go foul into the bullpen area down the right field line. And that ball had home run distance, just about 15 feet wide of the foul pole down the right field side. Shows you the strength of Perez as he did not catch that cleanly. Still able to drive it that far the opposite way. Good battle here. Anthony Burke against Andres Perez, a pair of Peach Belt Conference first-teamers. The 2-2. Fouled away. Burke's pitch. Misses low, 3-2. With 1 out, I would not expect Tom Cantrell to send the runners here, but going through a series of signs as Cruz Taylor leads from second and Chase Suddeth leads from first. Andres Perez batting against Anthony Burke, 3-2 the count. Check of the runner at second. Connor Corbett awaits on deck. The 3-2 pitch. Popped up, foul territory. Back comes Clemens. He runs out of room as it bounces just over the screen in the little picnic area just between the third base dugout, I should say, and the grandstand here at Trisdale Field. Plate umpire Michael Rash needs some baseballs as Perez has battled here with 2 strikes. This will be the 10th pitch from Anthony Burke to Andres Perez. The 3-2, before it happens, Perez will spin to second. But 3-2, you figure you make that move to try to see if Taylor tips off if he's in motion or not. As I said, I wouldn't think down 3 runs with just 1 out. The runners would move here. 3-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Anthony Burke strikes out Andres Perez with a fastball. A big second out for UNC Pembroke. On a 10-pitch battle between a pair of first-team All-Peach Belt Conference performers. Burke wins that one. And that leaves the inning up to Connor Corbett for North Georgia. Corbett 0 for 2. He's flown out twice. First pitch, checks his swing. Does not offer on the appeal. Ball and a strike. A ball and no strikes, I should say. Corbett, a junior from Juliet, Georgia. Corbett, one of 4 Nighthawks starters to start every game this season. Looking to bring the Nighthawks closer with a hit. The 1-0. Bounce on the ground to shortstop. Mobley go to second. He'll take the force, and that gets Anthony Burke through the 6th inning. 5-2 UNC Pembroke as we move to the bottom half of the 6th. You're watching the Peach Belt Conference Tournament on the Peach Belt Conference Digital Network. Bottom half of inning number 6, Connor Granger, Elijah Helton, Jarrett Mobley, the 3 scheduled hitters for UNC Pembroke, looking to add on to their 5-2 lead. First pitch fastball over for a strike from Kyle Luigs, who came on in the 5th, retired the final 2 batters. Works here in the 6th, 3rd pitcher of the day for North Georgia. Good breaking ball swung through by Granger. 0-2. Heavy lifting done by Anthony Burke in the top half of that 6th inning as faced the tying run at the plate in the person of conference home run leader Andres Perez, and he was able to strike him out before retiring cleanup man Connor Corbett of the Nighthawks to end the threat. 0-2 the count on Granger. That's low in the dirt.
Oh, come on. No, I listened to him do the baseball game in 02. Not Scott. Oh, I was going to Scott. I was like, what the hell those things? Corey's been on 3 road trips. I remember listening to that national championship game down there.
1-2 pitch, low again. Granger, one of 2 freshmen starting today for UNC Pembroke. It's a 2-2 pitch. Outside is after getting ahead, Luig's 0-2. He's fallen behind on the last 3, missing away, running this count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that's line on 1 hop to short. Mapes has it. Makes the strong throw on to first in time for out number 1. Bring up Elijah Helton, the DH, who's 1 for 2. Grounded out in the 2nd, singled in the 4th. Oh, and 1 the count on Helton. Pitch misses low. North Georgia, the 5 seed. UNC Pembroke, the 4 seed. As we play on day 1 of the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. Paul's hit off the end of the bat foul. Both of these teams are 4-5 against the other Pool A opponents that they'll face. UNC Pembroke swept Lander, was swept in the 3 games by Georgia College. So 1-2 pitch misses low, 2-2. And as we highlighted earlier, North Georgia won the series during the regular season against UNC Pembroke. The 2-2. Foul wide of third. Luigs delivers. Just missed, 3-2. Jarrett Mobley, who's doubled in a run, waits on deck. The 3-2, hit on the ground to third. Fielded by Clarno. Throws on to first in time for out number 2. So Kyle Lugies is retired, I should say. All 4 he's faced. A strikeout and 3 ground ball outs. As he faces Jarrett Mobley. 2 out, nobody on. Mobley takes ball 1, 1-0. Mobley lifts one foul out of play. 1-1 the count on the Pembroke shortstop. Lifted in foul territory down the right side. It's going to fall out of play. Drisdale Field here in St. Augustine, 325 down each line. It's 370 in the gaps. Center field not marked, but has a double wall, making it more difficult to hit one out to dead center. That ball's hit sharply to second on a line. Nice play by Chase Suddeth to snare it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Luigs and North Georgia in the sixth. Six complete. UNC Pembroke 5, North Georgia 2 on the Peach Belt Conference Digital Network. Top half of inning number 7. Bill Leroy, Stephen Tomlinson, Nick Clarno to the plate for North Georgia. Nighthawks trail UNC Pembroke 5-2, batting here in the 7th. As Anthony Burke winds and delivers a first pitch ball, 1-0. Burke started this one for UNC Pembroke. Burke, a first-team All-Peach Belt Conference selection, 8-2 record on the year, and he's been on top of his game today, surrendering just 5 hits through the first 6 innings. He leads at 5-2. The 1-1. Over for a strike. 1-2. Leroy's 0 for 2. He's flown out and popped up. And he lines that to left towards the line, but getting a good jump and making the catch is Luke Jackson. Leroy hit it hard, but Jackson tracks it down for the first out. Stephen Tomlinson will bat with 1 away. Tomlinson 1 for 2. He singled back in the second. Fouled away, 0-1. One and one as off-speed pitch misses high. Ball's fouled to the right. 1-2. UNC Pembroke bullpen is quiet. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. A good breaking ball from Burke. Gets Tomlinson to chase. He's down on strikes. Third strikeout for Burke. And that'll bring up Nick Clarno. Clarno 0 for 2. He grounded out to short and flew out to right. And that's hit off the fist. One hopper to third. Nice play by the third baseman, Trey Jacobs, cutting that off and throwing strongly to first to retire Clarno. A 1-2-3 seventh. Stretch time at Drisdale Field. UNC Pembroke 5, North Georgia 2 at the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. Bottom half of the seventh and top of the batting order for UNC Pembroke. Roberto Rivera for the fourth time today will step to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. His first 3 appearances. Rivera, a senior from Millville, New Jersey. Takes first pitch outside, ball 1. Rivera entered play today, tied for the team lead and runs scored. Also the team high 481 on base percentage. Along with 22 stolen bases at the top of this potent Braves lineup. Just outside, 2 balls and a strike on Rivera. Rivera made second team All Peach Belt Conference honors this season. The 2-1. Swing and a miss off the screen. Swing and a foul off the screen, I should say. 2-2 the count now on Rivera. Kyle Luigs working now into his 3rd inning of work. He's retired all 5 men he's faced. Rivera fouls it out of play. Two and 2 on Roberto Rivera. And strike 3 called as home plate umpire Michael Rash called strike but did not realize that was strike 3. And nevertheless, Rivera's down on strikes, caught looking leading off the 7th. So Trevor Clemens steps in. He's 3 for 3, drove in a run and scored twice. The 1-0 pitch. Upstairs 2-0. Luigs 2-0. Over for a strike. 2-1. Ethan Balcom awaits on deck. UNC Pembroke tries to add some insurance to a 5-2 lead. Pitches outside, 3-1. Right down the middle, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Clemens. Clemens works the count effectively. You really could tell how good this team is offensively with Rivera and Clemens at the top as he takes upstairs. That's ball 4, his team leading 39th walk of the year. Puts Clemens aboard with 1 out. That'll bring up Ethan Balcom. Balcom, 1 for 3. Lined out to right, struck out, and doubled in the 5th. And have Tom Cantrell make a visit to the mound. There's no action right now in the bullpen, but there are a couple pitchers making their way down right now to begin loosening for North Georgia. Already seen Cade Heel start. He went the first 3 2/3. Allowed 5 runs, all 5 runs. 4 of those were earned. Jack Fleming pitched 2/3 of an inning of scoreless relief. And Kyle Luigs retired the first 6 batters he faced until issuing the 1-out walk to Trevor Clemens here in the 7th. Pool play here at the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. We are in Pool A. Georgia College defeated Lander 9-6 earlier today. Pool B action begins this evening. Flagler and Columbus State will follow at 5. Young Harris and USC Aiken at 8:30. This format, the same that was used in the 2016 tournament up at Francis Marion in Florence, South Carolina. It was a double elimination tournament a year ago, but back to pool play format for 2018. It's bounced foul off the bat of Ethan Balcom. Tomorrow we'll have 2 sites and 8 total games, all broadcast on the Peach Belt Conference Digital Network. Luigs will check on Clemens at first. Pool B will be in action here at Drysdale Field. Pool A will be playing in Palatka, Florida at St. John's River State College. The 0-1, low, nice block by Perez, 1-1. The winner of each pool will meet right here at Drysdale Field on Sunday afternoon with the conference's automatic bid to the NCAA Regional on the line. The 1-1 is hit on the ground wide of third. 4 Peach Belt Conference schools made NCAA tournament a year ago. USC Aiken, Georgia College, UNC Pembroke, and North Georgia. Both of these teams in NCAA regional play a year ago. North Georgia won that Southeast Regional. And unable to stop his swing as Balcom. He goes around. Tag applied by Perez to record the putout. Second strikeout of the inning for Luigs. And there's 2 away. Well, that'll bring up Trey Jacobs. Jacobs 2 for 3, driven in 3 runs. An RBI single back in the first, and that towering 2-run homer in the third. Takes low, ball 1. Also had 4 NCAA berths out of the Peach Belt back in 2014. Certainly possible to 4 of these schools advance this year, depending on how play transpires this weekend as that ball's fouled off the body of Jacobs. Georgia College, Columbus State, and UNC Pembroke all have to feel pretty secure about their spots. Perhaps an 0-3 showing this weekend could change things there. USC Aiken, currently in 8th, has to feel like they have to make a move with a strong weekend performance. 1-1 the count. And starting to go and shutting it down was Trevor Clemens. He started to take second base before Luigs delivered home, but able to put on the brakes before Luigs could step off and make a play at first on him. The 1-1 is hit in the air into right center field. That's going to split the gap and go up against the wall. Clemens is around third. He's being waved home. The relay throw will be not in time. It's an RBI double for Trey Jacobs, his 4th run driven into the day. And UNC Pembroke adds some insurance. It's 6-2 here in the 7th. So Luke Jackson will bat, but before he does, Tom Cantrell is going to go to his bullpen. UNC Pembroke with a run in here in the 7th, trying to add to a 6-2 lead. We'll take a break. You're watching the Peach Belt Conference Tournament from St. Augustine, Florida. It'll be freshman Parker Morrison coming on for North Georgia. Morrison making his 31st appearance of the season, a 4-1 record, a 2.01 earned run average in 44 2/3 innings of work. He's facing Luke Jackson, who's 0 for 3. There's a first pitch strike, 0-1. Morrison leads the Peach Belt Conference in saves with 10. working here with his team trailing 6-2 in the 7th. Trey Jacobs is at second. He doubled in a run. Good off-speed pitch swung through by Jackson. Count 0-2. Morrison from Cumming, Georgia. Second team All Peach Belt Conference honoree. This is upstairs, 1-2. Morrison, the 4th North Georgia pitcher of the day. Cade Heel, Jack Fleming, Kyle Luigs, and now Parker Morrison. The 1-2. This is outside. Count evens 2-2. On the outside corner, strike 3 call. Jackson caught looking, and the side is retired. So Morrison comes on, strikes out Jackson to strand Trey Jacobs at second. And after 7 innings, UNC Pembroke leads North Georgia 6-2 on the Peach Belt Conference Digital Network. Top half of the 8th inning, 6-2 UNC Pembroke as North Georgia comes to bat. 8-9-1 in the batting order for the Nighthawks. Jake Arnold, William Mapes, Cruz Taylor against Anthony Burke, who will deliver his 89th pitch opening up this 8th inning. And the first pin is lifted in the air into shallow right field. Seth Harding's back. He's under it to make the catch for out number 1. William Mapes is 1 for 2, lined out to right and singled and scored the Nighthawks' second run back in the 6th. One ball, no strikes to count on Mapes.
I've seen it where if there's an umpire there, maybe even a lines person. Because now we're in the lines person's chair umpire.
This is way down and in 2-0 the count. Mapes, but a mainstay in this Nighthawks lineup all season. Freshman has started off all 50 games for North Georgia. Playing a solid shortstop. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that's hit on the ground towards the middle. Ranging to his left is Mobley. He fields and makes a strong throw in time to retire Mapes. Fine play by Jarrett Mobley. 6 consecutive batters set down by Anthony Burke. And back to the top of the North Georgia order, Cruz Taylor, who's 1 for 2. He's also walked. Burke gets ahead. 0-1. Winner of this game will be 1-0 in Pool A, tied with Georgia College for the top spot. 2 games apiece for these teams tomorrow, and we'll see who won Pool A and which team advances to Sunday's championship game. That 1-1 is lifted down the left field side, and it's going to get out of play. Good day for the freshman left fielder for North Georgia, Cruz Taylor. He's been on base twice at the top of this lineup. And he bounces that one to first, fielded by Granger. He'll toss to the pitcher, Anthony Burke, covering. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Anthony Burke. That's 7 consecutive batters retired. And in the middle of the 8th, UNC Pembroke leading North Georgia 6-2 from St. Augustine in the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. All right. Bottom half of inning number 8, UNC Pembroke leads 6-2. Seth Hardings will lead off. Parker Morrison came on in the 7th for North Georgia, struck out Luke Jackson to end that inning. North Georgia right-hander making his conference leading 31st appearance of the season today. Hardings 1 for 3, singled back in the 2nd. And that pitch goes to the backstop, 2-0. A little bit of activity in the North Georgia bullpen. You would not imagine Parker Morrison will throw all that many pitches. It's been such a linchpin to this pitching staff. Head coach Tom Cantrell is going to want him available the remainder of the weekend. That 2-0 pitch misses high, 3-0. We'll get into tiebreakers and the like tomorrow, but obviously when you play pool play, round robin between 4 teams, there's certainly a chance if someone does not run the table at 3-0 that you're going to have tie at 2-1 at the top. So neither of these teams will be eliminated today as Hardings walks to lead off this 8th inning. That's going to bring up Connor Granger. Granger 0 for 2, walked and scored back in the 4th. Morrison comes set, squaring a bunt as Granger and pulling back as he misses load. 1-0. Hardings has stolen 15 bags. He's only been caught twice as he takes his lead from first. Time call at the plate. Looks like home plate umpire Michael Rash had something fly into his eye. It wouldn't be dirt, you wouldn't think, here at Drisdale Field, as the infield is artificial surface, the outfield natural grass. The only dirt on the field besides the warning tracks out in the outfield is the pitcher's mound. Squaring to bunt is Granger, and stabbing and fouling it away. Count evens 1-1. Weather forecast looks very promising this weekend. It's currently 87 degrees here. Just some clouds in the sky. Beautiful day on the east coast of Florida. Looking for similar weather tomorrow. As squaring to bunt is Granger, and he fouls it off again. Count now 1-2. We'll see if head coach Paul O'Neill puts on the bunt with 2 strikes or lets Granger swing. Time's going to be called. We're going to have a conference in the third base coaching box with Granger. Sunday's forecast also looking good as of now. You're watching game 2 of 13 over the course of today, tomorrow, and Sunday. The 1-2 pitch. Line drive down the left field line. That's going to be foul. Just out in front was Granger. Hardings leads from first with Morrison delivering a pitch in the dirt. 2-2. Hit on the ground is short, could be 2. Mobley to second for 1. Excuse me. Mapes on to second for 1. Suddeth turns it over for a 6-4-3 double play, erasing the leadoff walk. There's 2 away. That'll bring up Elijah Helton. Helton 1 for 3, singled back in the 4th. And he swings through a first pitch fastball from Parker Morrison, 0-1. Looks like Anthony Burke will go out and try to complete what he started. He's got 5 complete games on the year. The bullpen is quiet. Morrison gets ahead of Helton, 0-2. In that 9th inning, it'll be 2-3-4, Suddeth, Perez, and Corbett for North Georgia. They'll trail by at least 4. Pitches outside 1-2. A 1-2. Hit on the ground on 1 hop back to Morrison. He'll throw on to first in time to retire Helton in the side in the 8th. A walk, a race on a double play, and we head to the 9th. UNC Pembroke 3 outs away from their first win of Peach Belt Conference Tournament play 2018. Top half of the ninth, 6-2 UNC Pembroke as Anthony Burke tries to complete his sixth game of the season. He'll face Chase Suddeth leading off for North Georgia. Suddeth 2 for 3. Drove in a run with a single in the sixth and tripled and scored back in the fourth. Nighthawks need some base runners, and he takes ball one low. Over for a strike, count even 1 ball and 1 strike. Both these teams back in action tomorrow. That 1-1 misses, 2-1. North Georgia will face Lander at 10 o'clock a.m. out at St. John's River State College in Palatka. Just off the inside corner, ball 3. So 3-1. Suddeth looking to get on base any way he can as the Nighthawks trail by 4 runs here in the ninth. And it's on the outside corner. Count full. Pembroke will play at 1:30 tomorrow against Lander. They'll also play at 8:30 against Georgia College. North Georgia, after facing Lander at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, will face Georgia College at 5 o'clock. And that 3-2 is high, ball 4. So Chase Suddeth reaches to lead off this ninth inning. For the first time in a few innings, we've got a little light activity out in the UNC Pembroke bullpen. Mentioned earlier, it's hard to find numbers of pitchers warming up. The batting cage down the right side of the facility here obstructs the view from the press box, but there is activity out there as Anthony Burke works in the ninth, facing Andres Perez. Perez takes high, ball 1. Perez is 0 for 2. He has a sacrifice fly back in the fourth. That at-bat in the sixth inning where he struck out on the 10th pitch of the at-bat to Anthony Burke was a big moment. He represented the tying run, and with his conference leading 20 home runs and 60 runs driven in, had a chance to tie the game up and put together a great at-bat, fouling several 2-strike pitches off before Burke was able to get him to swing through a fastball. Bats here against Burke, trying to get on base and give the Nighthawks a chance. 1-1 the count on Perez. Suddeth with a very short lead at first. As Perez hits one to deep left field, back goes Jackson. That ball is out of here. A 2-run home run for Andres Perez, his 21st of the season. And the Nighthawks have plated 2. It's 6-4, still with nobody out here in the ninth. We've seen Andres Perez hit a couple balls very, very hard today. He flew out to the wall in center field when he drove in that run on the sacrifice fly in the fourth, and he hit that one out of sight down the left field line. Luke Jackson gave it a run, but that ball was long out of here. And Anthony Burke gives up a 2-run homer to Perez, and now North Georgia needs a base runner to bring it, sending Ethan Balcom back to the warning track where he tracks it down. Nice over-the-shoulder catch by Ethan Balcom. He got a good read on that ball, and that made the difference as he was able to close ground and catch that ball about a foot onto the warning track. Retire Corbett for the first out. It's going to bring up Ben Leroy. Leroy is 0 for 3. He's flown out twice and popped up to second base. He takes a fastball strike, 0-1. And a curveball just missed. 1-1. 2 runs in on the Andres Perez long home run here in the 9th. North Georgia, though, needs 2 more to keep playing. Trailing 6-4 with 1 out. And B. Leroy batting, and he serves that into right field. That's going to fall for a hit. Leroy is aboard for the first time today. And that's going to bring up Stephen Tomlinson. And before Tomlinson bats, we're going to have a visit at the mound and see if head coach Jeff O'Neill is going to go to his bullpen for the first time today to try to get these final 2 outs. He's not made a signal yet as he converses with his infield. Stephen Tomlinson is 1 for 3, singled in 3 at-bats. After Tomlinson, Nick Clarno, scheduled hitter. He's 0 for 3, so Burke has handled this part of the lineup pretty well. We'll see if he gets a chance to continue or not as plate umpire Michael Rash comes out and forces a decision. Looks like Burke's going to stay on. Crowd gives an applause as Anthony Burke will continue. The tying run now is at the plate in the person of Stephen Tomlinson. Tomlinson led the team in doubles with 12, just 4 home runs on the year. Started all 50 games for North Georgia, now 51 counting today. Short lead at first from Leroy as that ball's out of play. Outfield playing Tomlinson to pull. Throw over to first. Jackson in left is a step or 2 deeper than average. Rivera also maybe a step or 2 deep. Ball come in a little bit in right. And the 0-1 is hit in the air to right center. Rivera heading over into right center. He calls. He makes the catch for the second out. North Georgia down to their final out. That'll be freshman Nick Clarno, who's hitless in 3 at-bats, stepping to the plate. Clarno, 7 home runs and 173 at-bats. He represents the tying run with 2 outs in the 9th. Burke delivers. Ball 1. UNC Pembroke is holding. Connor Granger is holding the runner at first, so there is a hole on the right side for Clarno, especially with Seth Harding shading towards the middle of the diamond. The 1-0, low, 2-0. Should Clarno prolong this inning? Jake Arnold, who's 0 for 3, awaits on deck. Aaron Biggerstaff loosening in the Pembroke bullpen. Burke's 2-0 to Clarno. It's over for a strike. Two and 1 the count. And that's driven down the right field side and out of play, and North Georgia's down to their final strike. UNC Pembroke crowd trying to get Anthony Burke through this final out and secure a victory on day one of the Peach Belt Conference Tournament for the Braves. Leroy at first, 2 outs, 2-2 the count on Nick Clarno. Swung and line foul down the right field side into the bullpen area. We'll do this 2-2 pitch again. Anthony Burke to Nick Clarno. Fouled back off the screen. Good cut by Clarno. He's battled in this at-bat. The wind is calm right now. So any fly ball to the outfield will not get any assists like it might have a few innings ago. 2-2. Swung and nubbed towards first. That's going to be touched foul. As just getting a piece of that off the end of the bat was Clarno. Two and two, 2 outs, top of the ninth. Leroy at first. Anthony Burke comes set and gets ready to deliver his 121st pitch of the day. Misses high, 3-2. So Leroy will get a head start. It'll force any ground ball to the left side. Pembroke will have to throw across the diamond for the out. Connor Granger at first for Pembroke will play behind to try to take away that hole. With the count now 3-2. Burke's delivery. Fouled away. Clarno's a freshman from Grayson, Georgia. Just fouled off 4 two-strike pitches. He's worked the 10th pitch of the at-bat from Anthony Burke. The 3-2 pitch. Hit on the ground, foul, wide of third. Leroy on the move at first. 3-2, 2 outs, 9th inning. The pitch. Fouled again. We'll have a 12th pitch in this at-bat between Anthony Burke and Nick Clarno. Should Clarno reach, the tying runs would be aboard for Jake Arnold. We're going to have a brief pause as baseballs are refilled to home plate umpire Michael Rash. Clemens and Burke talk about what they want to throw here, and now we're set to go again. Bill Leroy, who's gotten his sprinting practice in on these 3-2 pitches, will be in motion again. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground to shortstop. Mobley on the backhand. He's got to make the long throw across the diamond. Right on target to retire Clarno. And the ball game is over. UNC Pembroke has topped North Georgia 6-4 here in a Pool A game on day one of the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. The Braves pick up the victory and move to 1-0 in Pool A play. Join Georgia College at the top of the pool. They will play 2 games tomorrow apiece as we continue pool play in this tournament on day 2. 6-4 the final. We'll take a brief timeout and come back to recap it. You're watching the Peach Belt Conference Tournament from St. Augustine, Florida.
Please tell them. That's 50 minutes. Correction, game will start at 5 o'clock. Long time. Thank you.
Cozy, huh?
Where UNC Pembroke defeats North Georgia 6-4 in the second of 4 games today at the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. For North Georgia, they scored a single run in the 4th, a run in the 6th, 2 in the 9th, 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. They left 3 on base. For UNC Pembroke, they scored a run in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, a run in the 7th. That's 6 runs, 10 hits, no errors, and 5 left on base for Pembroke. The winning pitcher was Anthony Burke. He's 9-2. The losing pitcher is Cade Heel. He falls to 6-8. With the victory, UNC Pembroke improves to 37-12. And with the loss, North Georgia falls to 30-21. Time of the game was 2 hours and 36 minutes. Game 3 of the day will take place at 5 o'clock. It begins with Bill Topping on the call. It'll be Flagler and Columbus State in Game 3 of 4 here at the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. For Eric Williams, thanks for joining us. Once again, UNC Pembroke 6, North Georgia 4. This has been the Peach Belt Conference Tournament on the Peach Belt Digital Network.